Welcome to the Spirit on Tap podcast. I don't know why I said it that way. My name is Anna, and I'm the DM for our Asian-inspired campaign. We are playing with ERIK.
How's it going?
Who are you playing, ERIK?
Oh yeah,
every session.
Start with hello, awkward silence. Who are you playing? I am playing Bora the Foreigner, a white tiger leonid fighter.
And then we have GINNY.
I'm Ginny, and I am playing Ka, the Ganassi druid.
And then HELEN.
Hello, I am playing Atonement from Sin, the Tiefling Cleric.
That is such a good phone voice.
Thank you.
Say.
I'll take that. Oh, maybe I should start voicing like lifts.
This is the third floor.
Yeah.
I would never want to leave that lift.
Aww. Thanks, guys. Oh my god, I'm in the wrong career.
Elevator.
Oh yeah, God, you guys are American.
Because you're playing
Elevator.
with English people, you're using our terminology.
Elevator.
One of us.
What a good podcast start.
So for anyone who has missed Session 0, Episode 1 and 2, I may sound British or very Western. However, I am mixed race, and I've spent a lot of my time living and traveling around Asia, and as well as living and traveling in the Western Hemisphere as well. So I'm using a lot of my knowledge and a lot of my experiences in this game. It's not going to be perfect, and I accept that. So if there are any tweaks or anything I've gotten wrong, please feel free to message us or send us a message on Twitter or website. Wait till the end of the episode for information. In the last couple episodes, we had our adventurers, Ka and Atonement from Sin, who met on a boat and made their way to the city of Malang because of various missions or motivations to get to this city. Meanwhile, Bora, the Leonin, works for an individual named Almok and has been instructed to gain the trust of someone called Mr. Chul. So Bora has tracked down this individual and is off on a mission for him in order to try and gain some of his trust. Now, while he was out on this mission, he bumped into Ka and Atonement from Sin thanks to an incredibly lucky luck roll. And we left the session with Ka mentioning to Atonement from Sin that the individual that she has been told to look for has literally just bumped into her. And I believe we left the last episode on a sigh.
Big sigh.
Just before we start, I remembered as well that weeks ago, before we even had our session zeros, Anna gave me DM inspiration for coming up with the group name.
Oh shit, I did.
And I forgot what your version of DM inspiration is, but
it's just you can
remembered.
have any roll is at advantage once.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna use that wisely.
It's alright, you haven't rolled a natural one yet, so we're all good.
Not yet. I have got my counter, and Eric is the only one to do that so far.
Please use it on something wasteful, like. Anyway.
So, as if you have missed the last couple episodes, the place that our intrepid heroes, I guess, find themselves in, they're in the port district of the city of Malang, which is very well known for their high level of servants. It's incredibly densely populated. They are currently in the dock quarter, in the area that is closest to the port quarter, so it's very kind of smelly, very humid, it's quite hot. You've got beads of sweat appearing on those of you who have, like, Bora. His fur is starting to look a bit damp and matted, and they were joined by a small tabaxi individual who was technically the one who bumped into Atonement from Sin, who is currently waiting for Bora to join him a little bit further down the street. Who would like to start?
Can I help you two in some way?
You will never believe this, but I think you are actually the person that I am looking for.
For what purpose?
I have been given a lead that you work for a specific person who may have information that I am requiring.
What information might that be? Actually, I shouldn't be doing this. He's going to signal to the tabaxi that he was following to the warehouse to like kind of shift off to a an alleyway for a moment, and
Yep.
to signal or give one of these like follow me signs to Ka and to atone from sin to come with him away from prying eyes and ears for just a moment, but not the same alley that the tabaxi's gone down.
I would say that, I mean, it's very, very difficult here to find like true privacy, but you do like there are gaps and alleyways between warehouses that are generally a little bit quiet, so it's easy enough to find one of those if that's what you want to.
Yeah.
Like you'll still
Yeah.
see guards around, but they're far enough away that if you talk quietly, they're not going to hear you.
Bora leads the two of them down one, assuming they trust him enough to not like just do a murder.
Do a murder.
I needed to be away from the eyes and ears of the streets. Granted, someone's going to hear this one way or the other, but I figured mitigating that risk is best. So, what kind of information are you seeking?
I mean, I'm not entirely sure why I should tell you, per se, but I am on a specific mission, and you can see her, like, kind of trace her fingers over the burnt kind of sigil on her chest. And she says, I am looking for a particular individual from my past, and I have been told that a Black Komodo Dragonborn may have some information for me. Someone who I believe you may know.
He's gonna take a moment of pause and kind of give Atone from Sin an eye up and down, and simply ask, "You're not from around Malang, are you?"
No, I mean, I have never been to Malang before, so... Honestly, I don't know where to go, and any advice that you could give me, I would be quite thankful for.
Before I tell you anything, I'm going to need to know some information about the two of you. Firstly, being, where have you come from, and are you under the employ of someone? And secondly, who is this individual you're looking for? Because I'm afraid that if you're not completely forthright with me, then my time here is better spent elsewhere.
Well, I am not in employment of anyone. I am sent on a mission to help my temple. So I guess if you want to call that employment, but I am not being paid for any services. And I am from Kuzubuchi. I am not from here.
Are you with the Dawn?
Was it the Lotus? Yes. Yes.
As soon as that's mentioned, Bora kind of relaxes his pose from being like hair standing on end type of deal. Oh, you're a pacifist. Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't say pacifist is the right word, but...
What I mean is that you're not someone I really need to hopefully worry about right now. Okay, so this individual you're looking for, describe him to me. Maybe I've seen him around or something.
I mean, I have not seen him for a few years now, so he may look different than I remember him, but he is an Asimar gentleman. When I knew him, he used to wear a fabric on his eyes like this, but I'm presuming that he will not wear that anymore. From what I know, he no longer follows the practices of Yujar.
Does he have a name?
As I said, he may have changed it. Can I do like an insight check to see if I would just tell him this?
Yeah, you can do an insight just to see how much you probably trust
Yeah.
okay. Him.
Can I also roll an insight check to see if Atonement from Sin is holding things back?
Okay.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can also do I guess like a history check to see if this recognizes the description of anybody that you've seen.
Ka is just looking back and forth between them like tennis as they're speaking.
I got a 22 for insight.
18.
I would say that with a 22, you figure that this Leonin is probably quite trustworthy, mostly from the way that he's reacted to finding out that you're part of the Dawn Lotus, and also with some of the questions that he's asking, it's like, and his tone, it's kind of reassuring you a little bit that, okay, maybe this is the person that you're looking for to get you to your connections. Bora, I would say that she is holding stuff back, but it is the kind of holding back because she just doesn't know who you are.
It's not like a
like she's not lying to you. She's just more wary.
Well, for my history check, I rolled a 5.
Yeah. Okay. So far, this could be any number of people. Like there are a few Asima within the nobility that you have met, and you do know of. Like other Asima around the city. So this could be anybody. Like, you have no idea. You're just like, male Asima, okay. That narrows it down to like 50% of the Asima that you know.
I'm afraid from the description you're giving me, I've never run into this person personally. But if you are with the Dawn Lotus, there is potential that he might have the ear of the royal family. In which case, I now understand a little bit better as to why you would come to Lotus Father Almach with such an inquiry. But for right now, I am on a relatively important mission regarding the Lotus Father that also I can't really reveal right now because it's quite a sensitive nature. However, against my better judgment, if you two were to accompany me for the completion of it, we might be able to talk further from there.
Atonement from Sin would just look at Kara and be like, well, I mean, we don't have anything else to do.
It's your call.
This is the strongest lead that I think we have.
The one point of discretion I'm going to request, though, is that you not make it seem like the Lotus Father and I are on good terms.
Okay. Do I ask why, or will you not tell me either way?
I can tell you that the underground is a very secluded place with many characters that have to be dealt with in certain ways.
Okay. Well, I have never met this Lotus Father anyway, so that should be okay.
And Bora relaxes and gives a nod, and he does give a sort of light bow out of respect to Atonement from Sin because she is from the Dawn Lotus. Because Bora would know some of the history of the Dawn and the Twilight Lotus and the breaks there.
I'm happy for you to know that.
Yeah. I mean, when he bows, she'll kind of bow in response.
And before we set out, and he turns to Ka, may I have your name and how you are tied into this?
I am Ka. I'm still figuring that out, I think.
Can I ask a simple question?
Of course.
Why do you look as though you are the night sky incarnate?
Why do you look like snow?
Well, that's because I am of a white tiger breed. Pretty simple.
I do not know why I am the color that I am.
Very well. I apologize if I have offended you with my question. I've just never seen your kind in any of my travels between the high or the low of Malang, nor have I ever seen someone of your kind in reference to any of the texts of the Lotus. So I apologize for being taken aback by your appearance.
Nor have I seen one who looks like you. So, on that we may agree. We shall remain mysteries to each other. At least for now. On that count.
Very well. If you two will follow me then, there is another associate that we will have to deal with for right now. And Bora gives a gesture towards the open side of the alley that leads into the main street where they have to then meet up with the tabaxi.
This fucking guy.
He's literally done nothing wrong.
He walked into me. That's rude.
Of all the streets, in all the countries, in all the fantasy nations of the world, he walked into me.
And now, I have to kill him.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Extreme. Alright, so roll initiative? No.
Oh god, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. So, when you approach from the alley, the tabaxi, he looks nervous. He doesn't really like being here because there's so many guards in this area. He leads you down a few more large streets and then ducks through a couple of slightly narrower alleys. These alleys are probably wide enough for a pack animal to get down, but not for like a cart, or maybe a small wagon might be able to fit down these kind of alleys. And eventually he brings you to a warehouse that's surrounded by a couple of other pretty large warehouses, and it's quite difficult really to get any kind of cargo or freight to this warehouse because the pathways to it are quite narrow. The warehouse itself, it's seen better days. Whoever the previous owner was didn't keep up with its maintenance quite as much as they probably should have. Is made of tall wooden planks, and it has a ceramic roof, very much like the rest of the warehouses here, with some large doors. And the doors look like they are made from heavy wood on what looks like a slider along the bottom. And you can see that there's a chain wrapped through a hole in the door and a hole in the wall. And then there's a padlock on the chain. But as the tabaxi brings you to the door, you get a better look at this chain, and it looks like it's somewhat rusted, but it's still in place. And the tabaxi waits by the door, and he has been sort of shooting like looks towards Ka and Atonement from Sin, just kind of like wary, not sure who you are sort of thing. Obviously you guys have just bumped into him and then just continued with him. And he looks at you. The whatever it is that's causing the trouble is just inside. I will wait here for you to investigate, and then I'll take you back to Master Shu.
Bora's going to look at the tabaxi escort and simply, calmly say, if you feel you are at any sort of risk of danger as may come with this work, feel free to wait a little further away while the business is taken care of. As to the looks that you are giving to these two here, I figured it best to simply hire two people off the street such that we may proceed with a level of discretion.
He just gives you a wary nod and just steps back away from the door. and sort of perches himself up against the wall of the next warehouse.
If I am not out of there within the next, say, 30 minutes, feel free to tell Chul that I have met an end.
Yes, sir. I will.
And with that, Bora will gesture to Atone from Sin and to Ka. And the main entrance in has that chain that's sort of rusted through, right?
Yes, it does. Yeah, you can. It looks like it's rusted through, but as I said, it's still in place. And there is a small, like, padlock. Well, let's say small. There's a padlock on it, but a pretty simple looking padlock. You'll have to, like, investigate further for more information, I guess.
Can I attempt initially a sleight of hand check on the padlock itself?
Yeah.
That's gonna be an 11.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Do you think that man over there has a key?
The tabaxi?
Yes. You are here on his orders, yes?
With that revelation...
I was just waiting for this.
Did you not even ask the tabaxi?
No. Because,
Amazing.
Because I figured he
Incredible.
wouldn't be given anything. Bora will go, 1 moment, please. Do you have the key for this facility?
No, but I can probably help you get in. And he walks up to the chain and just pulls the chain. And as he pulls the chain, what looks like rust just turns into powder. And it's almost like it was staying in shape until something, like a force was applied to it to make it disintegrate.
So it was almost like the rust was just like caked on, and it was just degraded too horribly from the inside.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so much for needing a key, I suppose. Thank you for your assistance. You may go hide if you wish.
Good luck.
Shall we? And I guess Bora will open if it's a slated great door, would just lift it up, or if it's just a simple door.
Yeah, you just push it to the side.
Yeah.
As you push it to the side, it is quite stiff. You can hear the screeching of metal on metal as the wheels sound like as well they have rusted through. And it takes a little bit, like, I think you are generally quite strong. I'm not going to make you roll a strength check to push this door just because it's not so gone that you can't do it. But it takes a little bit more effort than you're anticipating to open this door wide enough for you guys to go in one by one. And as you open the door, there does look like there might be some lights further up in the building, but in general, the quality of the air, because a couple of you got quite good senses of smell just by nature of who you are, or what you are, I guess. The air coming out of this building is actually weirdly refreshing because it's not nearly as humid as the outside air. It's generally a little bit cool as well because, I guess it would actually be a little bit warmer just because it's been inside essentially a box for ages with no movement. And it smells stale. Although you can smell, even though it smells stale, there is a hint of like the smell of iron on the air as well. That's what you can see from where you are, and there are boxes and crates around, so you can't see the full layout of the warehouse completely, but the warehouse kind of looks like, so it's about, I would say, 90 to 100 feet wide and about 50 feet deep, and there are crates and stuff in there that you can see with just the light that's coming in through whatever skylights there are in this building or any lights in the ceilings, and the light coming in through the door.
And it's probably about like 30-40 feet high.
Yeah.
Okay. Immediately upon entering, Bora kind of gives a shh to Ka and to Atonement from Sin, and perception check, please.
Roll perception. Do you have dark vision?
Let me check that, actually.
If you don't, I'm gonna make it slightly disadvantaged. Slightly. There is only one type of disadvantage.
Yes, I. Only slight disadvantage. You get half disadvantage. I do have dark vision.
Okay, cool. So you can be a straight perception roll or investigation, either one.
That is a 9.
Okay, so with a 9, as I said, you do smell the kind of iron on the air and the staleness of this building. You can't really hear much. Your ears keep picking up noise from outside, which is, even though it is a little distance away, it's just loud enough or just distracting enough that it's masking any sound that you might be able to hear. Do any of the others want to do anything?
You'll see that Bora kind of like scratches his ear a little bit because of that loud grating metal sound. He thinks like that may have done something to him.
Atonement from Sin will just kind of like get a little bit close to him and just kind of whisper, is there anything we're specifically looking for? Or
most likely you're looking for the sounds of other people in here. They might be in hiding.
I'm quite good at that. I can try.
Please, any help would be appreciated.
Nice. I will also do a perception check, but does this count as
this will count with your
enclosed
extra proficiency?
Yes. Now it's a case
if you're
of
going for
what is
if you're going for
expertise.
hearing, I'll allow it for like your hearing and like just trying to. We're going daredevil on this.
Yes. Yes, that is basically
That's basically what you are.
Daredevil with a little bit of tough from Avatar is the big inspiration for Atonement from Sin. So that is a total of 18.
With an 18, you are practiced in meditation and being able to block out like nonsense and like extra noise. So as you sort of kind of center yourself in a way that's very familiar with you, you can hear sort of like a clicking sound. Like you can hear quite a few clicking sounds around the room, and it's a mixture of something hard, like hard feet or hard legs scratching against the floor, or something potentially something hard brushing against wood, and also sort of like clicking of mandibles is what you hear.
Okay, so yeah, she'll just whisper back, there are at least a couple of creatures in this room with us. I couldn't say how many, but be careful.
Upon hearing that, Ka is going to reach down and see if they can find any small pebbles or shells or anything on the ground.
Yeah, just roll a real quick investigation check.
Oh, that's a natural 1.
No, this place has been swept clean. No. It's unlikely that you would find something like a pebble or something, and it does look like this area is generally kept quite clean and quite tidy. So you can't even find like a fragment of brick. But I mean, if you really wanted to, you could probably like try and shatter some of the roofing tiles.
So the intent here is to cast Magic Stone to prepare.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
unless you have something on you that you could potentially use.
I don't think so. I do have an abacus. So I don't know.
if you want to take the beast from the abacus, I'll allow it, but it might take a little while to dismantle it. Unless you break it. Yeah, you can use your abacus counters.
Yeah, I'll do that. So I open one of my little pouches and I open and I pull out a abacus and I start kind of fiddling with it. And I pull three pebbles off.
Okay, yep. Easily enough. Just for curiosity's sake, what would I'm assuming abacus is from your like academic days?
No, so I would have made it but most of my tools are recreations from my academic days.
Okay, so I'm assuming you would have used like pretty pebbles or something that you would have come
Yeah.
across in your travels.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to like picture it in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you dismantle your abacus without breaking it. I would say that with your like skill in being able to like craft these things, you can do it easily enough without damaging the thing like irreparably. And you imbue 3 of the counters with magic.
Okay. So I will essentially just hold them to my hand as preparation.
I will say with Car's passive perception as well, you can hear the sound, like you hear the sound of something hard scraping against wood.
A little bit anxious.
You'll be fine.
Does anyone have a light?
No. I have no need for lights. Actually, do I have any in my bag? Let me check. I have a candle. Yeah.
So, where did I hear? Oh no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Never mind.
I would say I will allow like if you're in the doorway, like you're not fully in the doorway yet. It does kind of sound like it's come from the left-hand side of the building.
Can I visually make out anything? Or I'm not inside yet?
I don't know. You could make your way inside if you'd like. At the moment, my understanding is that it's kind of Bora inside, like in the doorway, and then Atonement's kind of next to him.
Yeah, I was going to follow Atonement in, so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you want to take a look, just roll a quick perception or investigation. I think perception would be best for this one.
That is a 21.
Yeah. So with a 21, from now that you've stepped inside a little bit more, you see kind of in the far end of the warehouse from where the doorway is, as the light comes in, you can just about see the remnants of some metal cages, but it look like they've collapsed on each other.
Do you know what was being stored in here?
No, I'm afraid I do not know what was being stored here.
Seems like it may have been alive.
Do you have an idea of what kind of thing might have been alive?
Not that a pile of collapsed cages can tell me.
I can hear what sounds like insects, but whether that is what was in the cages, I could not say.
I see. Were you able to figure out how many there might be here? How many cages would there be? Is that open information?
I would say with a 20, I think you got a 21. I would say that you can make out at least 3 cages.
There's at least 3.
I would say at this point, now that you guys are a little bit more alert, and especially with, again, Bora, what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is a 10.
10, okay. So, Car to the rescue again. Atonement, what's yours?
14.
Okay, yeah, no, it's going to be Car that figures this out. As you're inside, you're talking to Bora. You hear the sound of scraping again, and one is coming from the left side of the building, and another is coming from behind you. So I'm assuming you've turned to talk to Bora right now. So assuming you've turned to talk to Bora, it would be roughly in the location of where the cages were. And then another one would be, I guess, to the left of the building, so to your right.
I'm going to take one of my abacus beads and throw it at the cage.
Alright, yeah, so I'll allow you to roll a ranged spell attack, please.
Okay. Well, I'm aiming at just the cages. It's fine. We're trying to make a noise. So I rolled an 8 and then a +5, so 13.
Well, 13 is easy enough to hit these cages, and as you hit these cages, they just blast apart. And in the light that is coming through, and I will say that Bora, you can see this too because you're looking in this direction. The metal and the bars and everything just blast apart, and in front of you, you see a carapaced monster with several carapaces, and it comes to about 3 feet high. It has like mandibles and kind of insect-like legs and a tail, and is clicking its little mandibles in your direction, and the clicking gets suddenly a lot quicker, and then you hear these 2 more coming from either side of you guys. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. I guess Twitter's going to have most of our updates, but on Twitter and TikTok at Spirit on Tap D&D, or our website spiritontapdnd.com. You can follow me on Twitter at AnnaS100. Or what about you guys? Anything? What are your Twitter accounts or social media that you would like to give a shout out to?
I'm Ginny at Ms. Ginny Liz on both Twitter and Instagram.
You can catch me, Eric, at Slippers Cosplay on Twitter.
And I am It's Songbird on Twitter and Songbird Cosplay on Instagram.
With that, we will rejoin our heroes in a few weeks. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Greetings, this is Atonement from Sin, the party's Grave Domain cleric, also known as Helen, one of the players on Spirit on Tap. Our D&D campaign is inspired by Asian religions, cultures, and regions. Feel free to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Spirit on Tap D&D. Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you soon.